Try this again. Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens. Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is your Thursday episode of the Weed Nerd World. Hopefully, you guys have had a great week. What up, Trooper? I think I've got everything popped out. There we go. I think everything's good. Get this doobie going. How you doing today, brother? What's the weather like where you are? Is it still nice down there? Cab snake oil operation annihilation. Cheers to you. Indoor 420 growing smoke. Cheers to you. Pimp Jim Bodie faced. Mr. Fuck. Cheers to you. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a dab. I think I'm smoking some acid rain. Could be a mix. Probably a mix. Scarecrow 420. Cheers to you. 41 Tampa's fuck here in New York. Holy cow. That sounds chilly. It was pretty chilly when I got up here. I mean, we had a little bit of frost the other day. Luckily, nothing to really put a lot of damage on what's left outdoors. Indoor, outdoor 420. Trim jail. It's a good time of year. This one right here is called Washington. Damn. Waiting to see what Milton does. I bet. It just looks like it's laid a pretty devastating path so far in Florida. Pretty wild stuff. Yes, rest in peace, Mr. Sub. We miss you. I miss you a ton, brother. I had a great outdoor run. Nice. Blueberry has been harvest has gotten some amazing beans. Nice. All this weather, hearts go out to all these people that are affected by this for sure. I was watching a little bit of it on the news last night. Wow. You see all them people, the highways all packed, trying to get out. What you guys smoking on? A Nova, cheers to you. I appreciate the outdoor. I still would like to think I'm an indoor guy. Sooner or later, I'll have me a full-scale indoor garden again. Someday. Check the grip out. Nice. Some lemon terps in that. Boning up for my final round of tile, hopefully today. Well, at least on the floor. A whole weekend of grouting. Big fun. Smoking on a vape pen. Lola's Psychosis Fun. It's a Bruce Banner #3 cross. Lemon Space Fuel. Sounds pretty interesting. I dig the fuely stuff myself. Might as well put this over here so I'm not like staring at the other side of the camera. Cheers, Skunk Egg Glass Works. What are you smoking on this afternoon? Smoking some hash, nice. I can't wait till I get the opportunity to make some hash again. Fudge cake, huh? There we go. Nice crack in the neck there. Tommy Trichomes, nice to see you, my friend. Hopefully you've been doing well. How was your outdoor season? Pretty damn good, I'm willing to bet. Let's see here. What are you smoking on, Tommy? Got some new lights today. That's always a fun day. Rearrange the garden a little bit. From the UK, thanks Kino. Hell yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. You have a great day, indoor, outdoor, 420, growing smoke. Thank you for stopping in. Random seeds started in the backyard. Whoops, delight. Nice. 90% is going to the wash. Seems to be the easiest way to deal with the outdoor, huh? Some reels. I was actually thinking about doing the same with some of the outdoor that I got. Turning it into hash. I believe in sharing. That is a good thing to believe in, my friend. DLP 2372. Cheers, brother. Walking the dogs. We got a fucking beautiful day for it. Looks amazing. I haven't got to step foot out there yet, but I've just looked out the window. It looks nice. My days have been all fucked up. Tending to lead more towards the third shift side of life. Up all night again. Heading to bed around 6-ish.
Getting up minutes before the show.
Yeah. Getting up about 5-10 minutes before the show. Shit, last week I don't think I woke up minutes, if not late for the show. Smoking on some London Marker. I've never heard of that. Big Dave, how you doing? Congratulations, Michigan, for continuing to set sales records in cannabis. That's almost 300 million a month. Wow. I can believe that. I just wish it was going more to the little guy's pocket. The little guy's pocket instead of, thank you, instead of all the big guy's pocket. That's for sure. I was boarding mine earlier. Reading jets here. It's like a warm big hug. I know it. I can't wait till I can fucking finally. I've been saying it for a fucking year now, to where I can get more fucking consistency again. Every time I say it, literally, it's like a fucking. It's like a bad luck phrase at this point. Every time I say, yeah, it's close, things go crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. We're standing on the shoulders of amazing people. There's a lot of amazing people out there, that's for sure. Full show. I tell you right now, this one joint is not going as far as it should.
Cheers, everybody.
I need some kind of paw shoe that works for the grinder pavement. Oh man, it's tough to be on pavement all fucking day. I had some paw shoes that were weird. They were for roofing, and you could change the bottoms of them. They were like this weird felt like for. They wore out super fast though. Kill the music. Mr. Joel is here.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you today?
Not too bad. Let's see if I can get on Wi-Fi here.
How's the fucking weather over there?
Gorgeous, man. We're probably gonna be like 77 today.
Oh shit.
Kind of dry this morning, which is good. Yesterday was a little foggy. Tomorrow's gonna be foggy, so I'm actually trimming down some outdoor because it's not gonna like foggy weather. And we're gonna have some rain on Saturday, so I can get it down before it gets ruined.
Nice. It's still beautiful here in Michigan. It's starting to get a little chill, but we're still rolling.
Come on here, Wi-Fi. There we go.
What are you waking up to this morning? What are you gonna smoke on?
Well, I brought down some bud down from the house. I got some Phantom Zone and some Buñuelos. So that's Form Cookies and Colombian for the Buñuelos and Apollo 13 times Alcatraz for the Phantom Zone. And I am trimming down a whole bunch of this prison bitch here, which is Santa Mort Sling crossed with Alcatraz. So that is Darkwood crossed with Colombian crossed with Alcatraz. And the Santa Muerta Sling is actually, it's a drink. I got it out of a drink book, out of a bartender book. the prison bitch.
Right on. It's an interesting game. You ever need a string?
Yeah.
After the fact, and went, maybe not.
It's just outdoors, so it's going to be the quick. Basically, just pop off the fan leaves. I have to dig in here because I have some yellow stuff. I got to make sure it's not rot anywhere. So I got to do a little exploring in some of these, and then just that's about it. Just popping off the big fans and some of the smaller stuff that's not crystally. That's all I do, though. I don't bother with the outdoor too much.
No.
The big bonus this year, the outdoor, is my wife loves the smell of the volunteers. I wasn't actually planning on growing any this year, but she loves the smell of this. So I'm like, yes, you can have the whole thing, and I can have all the indoor for myself. She's excited about this plant. She probably won't get through more than like a half pound of it, I wouldn't think, before it gets old. Oh, I keep dropping bugs on the floor. Shit. It always turns out to be more than I expect to. I'm bringing an outdoor plant. I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. I'm like, I got halfway through, I'm like, holy shit, this is like triple what I thought it was going to be. Got this freaking pile here next to me.
Yeah, that's a nice pile.
Yeah, I probably got a good 2+ pounds of bud sitting here. So after it's dry, it will be at least. It keeps wanting to fall down on me. Ay. Give me a break.
I haven't minded the trimming. It's been a nice fucking thing to bring back in my life. You know, it's been a while since I had to sit down and trim, so to sit down and trim again, it's been a nice change.
You know, I don't mind as long as I don't have things that like need to get done. Like, oh my God, I have a fire coming or something crazy, and I got to do work. I have to do something important. But as far as this time of year for trimming, that's what my schedule will do. I actually enjoy it too. My shoulders and shit get sore after a bit, but that just goes with it. I just sit here and put the radio on and just fucking trim away with the radio playing all day.
I was just getting ready to ask if you had like a favorite like band you listen to, or I like comedy. I listen to like some comedy when I'm fucking trimming. I like a good laugh.
Yeah, I'm kind of bad. I listen to like fucking news radio a lot. The show that's during with most time I'm trimming is on from like about 9 o'clock here till noon. Is Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon. So he's a comedian. So he's actually pretty funny, but it's got a bunch of political bullshit in it too. Try to sit here and get a laugh at all that.
Right now.
I need to fucking smoke a little shit.
You gotta start there. You can't just dive into trimming with.
Yeah, well, I started diving in. I'm like, holy shit! I've been trimming for like 40 minutes. I didn't even realize I haven't even fucking. I brought down bud to smoke it. I haven't smoked it yet. I still got to run back up to the house a little bit later and close the house up. Got nature's air conditioning going on where I open the house up all night long and leave the windows open. All the cold air comes in. Got to get up there by around 10:30, 11. Close it up.
It has most certainly been chilly the last few nights up here. Dipped down into the 30s.
Oh,
30s here.
We've been dipping into the 40s the past couple nights, but then for the week previous to this, we were like in the mid 60s. It was in 90s all week. It was absurdly hot for where we're at here. It's even hot for summertime temperatures. I mean, I think downtown Forestville where I'm at, we hit 100 plus for like 3 days in a row. I don't think we hit that all summer long. We were in the 90s a lot, but we rarely ever get 100 degrees. I think I've seen it actually hit 100 up here maybe 6 or 7 times in the past 16 years. I mean, 3 times in one week was holy shit, especially being October. I mean, usually maybe August or something, I might expect that, or July, but not October. I mean, shit. It just started off hot. I didn't even get to open my windows up until 3 in the morning until it was cool enough to let any air in the house. So,
well,
this is a very welcome break.
Well, our daytimes have been pretty decent, 65, maybe close to 70, but the last few nights have really fell out.
That's where the plants really start suffering. It's that mold starts kicking up if the plants get that real cold fucking air moving in at night and get a little dew fall on them and stuff.
Yeah, that's a cool piece there.
Oh, thank you.
It's almost like between a steamroller and with a bowl, pretty much, right?
Steamroller, yeah. This is from Space Glass. These guys are from like Colorado, mainly from like the 90s. Mainly, they made glass. I think they went out of business in the early 2000s. I got a few of their bongs and a couple of their pieces, but just all old school fume work everywhere. And of course, it's dirty as shit, but
I don't really go out of the way to clean my glass pieces like that. You know what I mean? Once I get to a point, I'll clean them up, obsessively clean them. The only part that matters is that bowl. You know what I mean? Wipe that bowl clean when I'm done, so the bowl's clean.
I'm bad because over the years, I have not spent much money in the past like 4 or 5 years at all on glass, but previously I've got so much freaking glass it was ridiculous. Before I left New Jersey, we actually had a head shop set up in my office. So I did all my computer work in the office. I had a mini head shop because there was only one head shop in all of South Jersey. And it was ungodly expensive. And you walk in there and you say the word bong and they kick you out of the store. You couldn't go back in kind of deal. So I was selling little mouthpieces, Happy Chief things, little filters for glass pipes and all out of New Jersey. And we went to the Champ show in Vegas, and I was like, "Shit, look at this!" I went ahead and put wholesale orders with a bunch of people. I own the head shop. I brought home all kinds of fucking orders of bongs and pipes and all kinds of shit. And we had a whole head shop set up in the house. And I sold some stuff, but I basically kept like 3/4 of everything. So I've got like 2 big totes full of like layers of glass up in my attic, and I've got like 8 or 9 pieces of this guy's stuff, different bongs and pipes, and just so I'll start smoking stuff, and I'll grab a new piece and new piece. Next thing I know, I have like 15, 20 pieces I got to clean. I'm like, all right, no more grabbing clean stuff. I got to actually start cleaning some old glass. Or I have like a pile in the corner of just dirty pipes. I have bins full of alcohol pipes sitting in them everywhere. It turns to a mess. So.
That's cool.
And the thing is, even though I probably have like maybe 100 pieces of glass or so, there's like maybe 5 or 6 that I really like to use. Mostly is all. The rest of them are like, it's too dirty. I have to grab something else. Let me find something to grab real quick. But like I grabbed this, and I have a couple of Sherlocks I really like a lot. So a Sherlock or a hammer, a big steamroller. I got one bong I use. I mean, so, and on top of that, when I'm smoking with my wife, we just roll joints. We don't even smoke any glass.
I'm really pretty particular about the piece that I use. And then I usually kind of stick with it. Then I fucking break it. And then I get bummed out. And then I won't use glass for a while. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a fine line there of like what will make me fucking calm and what I can actually enjoy, I think. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got all kinds of glass in here. I got the celebration pipe. Subcool gave me that pipe for my birthday. Celebration pipe. And I got some steamroller, a couple more bongs up here. Yeah, I had like this case we still use for all the shows.
Super badass.
Greetings.
What up, Vegas?
How you guys doing?
Howdy.
Doing well.
Eagle, Joel.
How's it going today?
I can't complain unless you're a sympathetic listener.
Mm-hmm.
No, great, going great. Having my coffee. I'm surprised to see Eagle on early.
Yeah, Thursdays midday.
Awesome. Cheers, chat.
No, I just popped on.
I tend to forget about it.
Trimming away today.
Right.
Holy shit. That's a hand grenade. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah, I got some nice buds off. This is outdoor.
Oh, shit, yeah. Cavs, what's up? Sheldon.
Show them that pile.
Shedder.
Oh, the pile?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Outdoor. Yeah, it's that time. Harvest time. Wow.
Yeah. So I got a
couple pounds. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a few pounds here for sure. I mean, most of these branches are like the size of my forearm. So I got a pile of them there. I got a pile there, a big, massive pile there. Start chucking the stems in there. And then outdoor, I don't save much of the small stuff. So all the fluff, I just toss into a bag here and decide whether I'm going to do something with that. Probably just throw it into the butter.
That's
like I was telling Igor earlier, the main thing for me is my wife really likes the smell of this plant. This was a volunteer, so I wasn't actually planning on the outdoor, but she like loves the smell of this, so she's gonna have the whole plant to herself. Well, and all the indoor is going to be mine. So I don't have to share any of my indoor this year. This will last her until summertime.
Nice. Yeah.
So she'll be happy, and I'll be happy, and everyone will be happy.
Happy's good.
So that's feeling good though.
Yeah. I don't do any outdoor. We have too many thieves here in my town. It always gets to where it needs to be, and then all of a sudden it disappears.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing the outdoor. It was a volunteer. I was actually emptied a few of the pots in the seed run I had done at the end of last year. I knew it was Alcatraz male for the seed run, so I dumped a few pots in a couple of my beds. This is a bed I usually put tomatoes in. I needed a little extra soil, so I dumped a couple pots in there, and then of course in the spring it pops up a volunteer. I'm like, well, you look strong and cute. I'll let you go. We'll see if you're female. We'll let you stay. And of course, it turned to be a female, and then she grew wonderfully. I didn't top it. Turned into a nice like 6.5 foot bush.
Wow.
About 6 foot wide, 6 foot tall, all the way around. Just big, beastie, stinky, sticky nugs. So I'm thrilled with it, actually.
That's a gift from the universe right there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this grew perfect. I actually left a bunch of small little interior large buds and everything. I'm hoping it'll re-veg. I've had plants re-veg in my greenhouse by themselves.
Yeah.
I'd like to have it re-veg so I can cut a clone off of it, but if it doesn't, it does. It's no big deal. It wasn't. It's just a miracle that I had a volunteer that I'm just happy with.
Awesome.
A lot of times I find the volunteers to be a little hempier. It seems like they're more of the rugged, leafier varieties sometimes, but this one turned out beautiful.
Is my mic too loud, Eagle?
No, not at all. If anything, you're a little soft.
All right, I'll bring it in a bit. Penny, how are you? Cheers, chat. See loud. Everybody, Weed Nerd. Everybody's showing up early for you. Awesome.
I can see the chat.
Yeah, I pop out the chat from YouTube so I can see who's wandering around.
So yeah, you wouldn't think that, especially as far as into like legal cannabis that we are, that rippers would be fucking such a thing still. You know what I mean? If it's legal where you're at and you can't like necessarily like chuck some seeds outdoors and just let them go versus just stealing somebody else's shit at the end of the year, it seems like that's we're still in the shitty state, I guess. You know what I mean? Because it's not that big hard of a word, throw some seeds outdoors, or if you can. Shit, around here, a lot of places in Michigan, they are supposed to be behind closed doors, fences, and all that shit. But man, you go in a lot of small towns, and they're right in the fucking front doors, and fucking next to the door on the porch, or right there out in the yard where God and everybody can fucking see them, and nobody really cares, and everybody seems to have. Seems to respect each other, just like it was a fruit. You know what I mean? You don't see people running up in the yard and running off with
Stealing your
tomatoes and
apples and
shit.
shit.
You know what I mean?
Where everybody's got weed. Everybody's got weed in Michigan. It's been so many years since I've grown outdoors. I could probably get away with it now without somebody ripping it off because we have weed everywhere in Oregon. But I just stick to what I do. I don't have a big. I mean, dude, look at Joel. I mean, he's waist deep. That's going to take you a while.
Yeah, the outdoors is going to get a quick trim, but I still have, since it's been outside for a while, I've had a couple spots of bud rot I had to pull off. So when I see something, I have to start digging into it. So I'm going to be probably half my time is going to be exploring some of these bigger nugs. I mean, you look in here, there's a lot of little brown leaves sticking out. So I got to make sure there's nothing behind them and dig in them, which is why I don't like outdoor myself, because it's just molds too easily. I get a lot of fog here in the mornings, even in the summertime. We'll have nice warm days, but it'll start off with a dewy, wet, foggy morning sometimes. And it's just like, yes, there's some rot right there. Just a little tiny bit on the edge.
I hate that.
It's just, yeah. I was planning to let this stuff go, honestly. I was hoping it would go until closer to Halloween, because it looks like I could probably get at least another 2 weeks out of it, no problem.
Yeah,
but
and again, we talked
not
about
with the weather.
The mist, a lot outdoor conditions. Man, I can sit here at sunset and look across the street at the guy across the street's farm, and you would think he's spraying fucking water in at that time of day, because man, there is a fog just rolling in. Oh, you can literally watch the moisture come over that little valley and just up, and it's like you would think his water, he doesn't have waters like that, you know what I mean, over there. But you would think it was just he would be watering that crop over there, but it's just moisture rolling in night after night. So it seem like at least over there, because it doesn't seem to reach quite this far. But over there, like 2 miles, it seemed like that'd be like a tough little stretch to have some outdoor. And that's like we're just talking miles. You know what I mean? With an eyesight,
Oh, yeah. For sure. I mean, my area here, I have the river at the bottom of my road, about a mile away. I'm about 500 feet up, so there's extra moisture in the area for that. And then depending on where you drive at, you can drive across the hills and vineyards. It's a nice dry area, and you come around the corner and dip down, and it is a thick batch of fog somewhere. So really so many microclimates around here. The elevation changes really quickly in spots that you can have the same plant grown here and it's actually 2 miles away. You're in different conditions almost growing it.
In Oregon, dude, you blink and the weather changes. I mean, it's not outdoor, and I shouldn't, I haven't done it enough. I know a guy down in Southern Oregon that does a lot of outdoor. He does a great job, but he's developed his techniques just like for his area. I mean, you have to kind of curb how you do things to match the climate, and so it's different everywhere you go, even in the same state. Like California, that's a big state, man. You know what I mean?
Oh goodness, yeah. Just in Sonoma County here, I mean, I can go from the coast to where in the summertime, my goodness, it's in the 50s and 60s most of the time, or in past Santa Rosa, and we're 90 degrees every day in the summer. It's a huge difference. And that's only about maybe 20-mile ride total. Yeah, my wife and I have our eye on Southern Oregon. We're a little interested in moving up there.
Southern Oregon's better than for growing outdoors anyway. It's way better than up where I am. I'm up by the border of Washington.
Well, I know the big thing for me is that the property taxes and everything, all the expenses are way less than they are where I'm at here. Because my goodness, it's horrible here.
Property taxes are high in Oregon, so you must have it really being jabbed down there then.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I can have my same exact house to be $1,000 less a month in property taxes from what I have in Oregon from what I have here. I pay like $1,500 a month in property taxes.
That's
it is. And the thing is too, even out here, like all the local municipalities, we vote on different taxes to increase all the time. People everywhere are voting to increase taxes, increase a parcel tax on your property. They're voting now to increase the town next to me, increase the sales tax at 10.5%. It's going to be on the election this year. I wish how dumb they're going to vote yes for, because everyone votes for more taxes out here. Like they love paying taxes. I don't understand it.
That was my summer and winter tax. Your 1 month was my summer and winter tax at my house in Roscommon.
Yeah, it's just criminal. Now the thing on top of it though is I moved from New Jersey, so moving out here, it seemed like a tax break still. My house in Jersey, I think I pay like $6,000 a year in that house in Jersey, and it's worth 1/6 of the house I have here. So if I was to multiply that value by 6, I'd be paying like that house in Jersey was here. I'd be paying probably half what I'm paying. I mean, it's so much more here than in Jersey than it is here, because I think that they just can't expand their tax base any in Jersey. You're maxed out. There's no open land to build any new houses and bring in new people. You're kind of in a giant city.
Even if you buy your house cash, like you just rent it from the state or county that you're living in.
Yeah.
You don't own it.
And that's for real. That's for, it's okay. That's the part
you're paying a tax on your unrealized gains already.
Biggest, Joel, unless you've read the fine print and that, your deed, you may only own the first or rent, as you say, Bingus, the first few inches. You know what I mean? Somebody may own the mineral rights underneath your feet. You know what I mean? So if anything's found in that ground, there's a good chance that you may not own that either. You're just owning, sure. You know what I mean? The taxable the surface there, basically.
A friend of mine rented a house, right? And the landlord wasn't too attentive, and he paid his rent on time because he was growing massive amounts of weed. He dug under his garage, all right, I think it was like a 20 by 20 area.
Holy shit.
And it went all the way out to under his driveway, right? So here's what happened. The fucking owner drives up in the driveway and the whole thing collapses.
Oh my God. What do you do about that?
He never parked in the driveway, right? The owner drives up one day into the driveway, The whole bottom of the garage came down. The whole driveway came down. He went to jail. It was funny, actually. I go, have you ever heard of supports? Fuck.
Right, yeah.
This thing that's gonna stay up there forever. I mean, shit. I don't know. That was funny. That was a long time ago, man. Back with halides. You wanted halides down in that dungeon. That's what I called it. And God, thankfully, nobody was in the garden.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that car crashed on your head.
Needless to say, he was addicted.
See, I had a beautiful bud, and I had to dig in there and pull a freaking hunk of dry rot off of it. I hate that. It looks so nice till I had to pull that thing off of there.
That was back in the 80s. We had a lot of indoor stuff in Oregon going. I mean, I made a living making stealth boxes to put in people's attics and stuff. Legally, I wouldn't get in trouble for doing that, right?
I'm working on something old school here.
Are you doing a little hash press? Ooh. We call that inner tube weed.
Brick. This is all the my my blood moon out of the greenhouse I trim. The smaller larvae buds, and the trim itself does not wash for shit. Never even in the freezer it stays soft and sticky. Never gets like the crystals fall off of it. But I can extract it really well. But I don't do hydrocarbon extractions myself. And the way the laws in California are, it's getting really hard to find somebody that can do it for you. So I just said, fuck it, let me try to go ahead and make a brick. So I have this sucker wrapped up, and I've been got about 40 pounds on it over here. Just see. I've had to air it out every day here. Still a little soft. I had another one I was messing with, but I had it wrapped up too long and then aired out and I got mold on it. So that got chucked. But this one here looks good.
Back in the late 70s, we would get, we called it inner tube weed because it smelled like an inner tube, but it was bricks like that they put in tires to bring across the border from Mexico. And back then it was pretty decent weed. It just tasted like rubber. We didn't ask what strain it was. We didn't know what strains were back then, I don't think.
Yeah.
Is it the good stuff?
Yeah.
Inner tube weed. Been doing this a long time, guys.
Yeah, I have as well. I mean, I was talking with Angel just yesterday. We were talking about like cannabis, how long we've been, whatever, and I was like, shit, I've actually been selling weed since the 80s. That's that crazy to say. I mean, that puts me, high school. I was selling joints at the bus stop, 3 for $5 and fucking, you know what I mean? So it started then. So that late 80s to present, which is quite a span to have cannabis passing through your hand for dollars at one point or another. Not necessarily today, but yeah, it's crazy that it's been that long. It made me feel old when I actually fucking look back and put a number on that shit. Did the math. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Back in
That's a steep number.
Back in the late 70s, I remember saving up to buy an extra high output Grolux shop lamp, basically, right? It had the vegetative growing type tubes in it. Got an 8-footer, right? I put it in my car and it was hanging out the driver's side window and I got pulled over by a cop. Dude, I freaked out. I'm not even carrying weed. I just got a grow light to grow weed and I'm just fucking nervous as fuck. And guy, he goes, you're going this fast and da-da-da. I'm like, I'm just trying to get to where I'm going. He goes, oh, you got a new light, huh? I'm like, yeah. And he just gives me a take and goes on. I'm like, fuck you, idiot. I mean, you're not carrying any weed. But I thought, man, if he sees that that's a grow light, he's gonna know that I'm growing weed. Oh fuck.
Follow you to the house.
And dude, I took it in to my apartment. I'd moved out early when I was about 17 and lived with my girlfriend and growing a row of Hindu Kush seeds that I got from an exchange student from India in my high school. And I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. The light was on 24/7 until my girlfriend would go in and do the ironing and she'd unplug the lamp. And she's OCD. She's my ex-wife now. She's OCD. So it was the same time every day. She created a photo period. I didn't, and I started getting buds. And I thought I was fucking up, man. I had to go talk to my uncle, who's a horticulturist, and he laughed and explained life to me a little bit about how plants grow and what a photo period is. And then he's told me that when it harvested, come and treat your uncle. I'm like, no fucking way. So he smoked weed. My dad was totally no weed. But Uncle Charles,
I'll be right back.
he smoked weed. God rest his soul.
Hell yeah.
And that's when I started. I'm okay for buds, and it was way stronger. I mean, it was like, wow, this is better than smoking leaves, which is what we were doing prior to that. We had 4-finger, 5-finger lids for $10. And shit, when I got stoned when I was a sophomore, that was it, man. I ended up buying a pound and becoming a weed dealer.
Hell yeah.
It's like 72. So I've been doing it that long, since 1972. Wow. Yeah. I wish I could get those Hindu Kush seeds, man. I know what to do now. They were beautiful, man. Oh, I've never seen a Hindu Kush plant like that since.
Probably because it's all adulterated with other stuff in it now.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of good strains back then. That I had a guy wanted to sell me a strain for $500. I told him, you're fucking crazy. And now I wish I had it. Of course, it was the G13. I think he called it, from the ones that the United States government made or whatever. I'm like, there's a big backstory to it.
From Mississippi.
Yeah, it was an indica, beautiful plant. I go, $500? You're crazy. He goes, dude. He goes, fuck you. And basically, you're a rookie. But back then, that was a lot of money, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
500 would be like 5,000 nowadays. Yeah, the old economy.
It shocks me. I look at I look at Instagram all the time. I see that they have a bunch of these, back in the 80s, back in the 70s, like throwbacks things. And this time, they start throwing up pictures of the Christmas catalogs, like Sears Wish Book and things like that. And I'm like, wow, shit was super expensive back then. Looking at like some toys that are like $30-$40. I'm like, wow, my parents bought that for me back then. And that's like, now it's like spending $150 on something. Like, thinking about the price difference, a lot of things were expensive back then. All the electronics and so forth, that is.
Probably, dude. It was way cheaper than it is now, that's for sure. But weed prices, just, God, I remember my apartment was $175 a month. It was a 3-bedroom. I'm like, wow. Oh shit. Things change.
They do.
All right.
Well, it's tough to find even a good rental these days. Oh, I had somebody at the door. Sorry about that. Oh,
Cheers,
man.
Chad.
All right.
Setting up bowl.
Yeah, you got it. Everybody's here.
Joey's got me. I think I went too deep, man. Yeah, I I got to lay some finished lancing tile after today, too. At least the
Oh, I like
floor.
doing tile work.
It's been all right. I don't mind tile. I wouldn't. If I were to decide to do it for a trade, I would be a fifth generation tile layer, and so it's kind
Oh, cool.
of came into, and I didn't know that originally. Uh, I'd laid tile before I actually met my real father and knew that side of my family. So it was weird because it just worked out to be that way. I laid the tile and I thought, man, that can't wait too easy. That looks great, you know what I mean? And then come to find out later on that
It's in your blood.
that was the case. Yeah, it was in the blood. So
It's like breeding. My dad used to breed dogs and birds and all kinds of, and I would do a lot of the recording of the stuff, and I learned a lot from my old man. And then my uncle, same way. Must have been growing weed too, I'm thinking, but he was an iris grower. He developed one of the first pink irises by breeding. It just kind of sticks with you, I think. Nobody in my no none of my sons are even interested except for smoking weed, of course. None of them want to grow it. My youngest boy thought he wanted to, and then I went over there and I looked at his tent and I was like, God, dude.
No, both my girls
So good.
smell of it. Oh my goodness. My one kid, every time I come to the house, my wife and I are on the porch smoking, she walks out, she'd be like it's bothering. I'm like, well, get out of here if it's bothering you that much. You have to come out here and we're smoking. They have nothing to do with the business, nothing to do with cannabis, nothing to do with any of that. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
I can't even pay them to come help me trim.
he had bugs. He had every kind of problem ever.
Oh no.
I go, do you look at these things ever? I goes, yeah. I go, well, look closer. That was the end of his. He sold all his shit to his friend. He had a terrible light too. It's like some purple thing. I don't know. It's interesting.
Oh my goodness! About 10 years ago, I found my neighbor's son with a small little patch on my property of gorilla growing off his own property on my property. Those like two little 3-gallon pots with a little sunny spot coming down through the woods. And I was looking at his plants. I'm like, oh my goodness! I left a note with a printout from the computer about spider mites and what to use for them and stuff. I'm like, dude, this looks like shit. But here you go. Clip it to your thing. But a no trespassing sign too. Like, all right, take the plants back to your property, and you got some bugs and powdery mildew.
No charge. Yeah, that's funny. It takes some. I mean, yeah, everybody's always a plant. Just put it in the ground. Yeah. But if you want to grow good weed, you're going to have to kind of learn what you're doing a little bit. It's funny. I think it's second nature to me now. I've been doing it so long. But I still fuck up. Dude, I lost I've had this plant for 10 years. The Bingus blackberry. I lost it. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, no.
And luckily I have a bunch of Bingus berry seeds. I could probably do a little hunt there and see if I could re-find her. But yeah, I get so many plants and I put them in bins, and then they get into corners, and then shit happens. You know what I mean? You don't pay
Yeah.
and fuck, you're like, oh no, where is it? I kept looking, I'm looking, dude, it's gone. It's like fuck. Yeah.
I've lost plants so many different ways that it's like nothing surprises me anymore. I mean, I've had freaking light fall on a plant and just crush it, and I didn't get there till the morning. It's a burnt mess. Just a light bulb is burning on a plant. Little clones. I've multiple times mislabeled something, taken the wrong clone, mislabeled that. I'm like, oh shit, I've lost this plant. I grow the plant out. Like, that's not the right plant. I'm like, oh shit, now it's all gone. I've done that more times than I want to admit. There's always something happening. I mean, I try, and sometimes when I've had like 75, 80 different plants in the room down there, it's just too much to keep track of. It's too fucking hard. A clone tray knocks over and tags go fly, and you're like, what do I do? Do I throw them all in the trash now or what? 'Cause I don't know what the hell's what.
It too.
So
All sounds very familiar.
yeah. I'm really working myself
I'm
to get
good
to a
for
much
that.
smaller, reasonable size, so it's less hassle and less to keep track of. And I'll be actually be happier, I think, with less plants. I always thought that having the ultimate variety of one of everything would be what I wanted to have, but that's
Yeah.
just too much stress. It's not even fun anymore when you're trying to take care of everything.
Keep track of it. It's stressful.
Yeah, it's too much.
There's a lot of times
Supposed
I've
to be
done that though.
enjoyable.
Few times where I've like be up potting and had 3 or 4 clones side by sides, different strains, slam them into pots, and then all cups are laying next to me, and I forgot to label as I went, and now the cups are like circled or not in the pattern that I grabbed them in. I look back and be like, fuck. Sometimes you can remember what that clone looked like, you know what I mean? Which was which. Not
Yeah.
all the time, though. Sometimes
I
you
call
have to
those
write them
WTF strains because I put a little tip WTF two, WTF.
there.
I mean, what the fuck? I
Yeah,
don't know.
I write down what I think it is, and I put a question mark next to it. Then I take a clone of it. I do the same. I mark that as the strain I think it is with a question mark. Then I grow it out and confirm if it is or not.
I've done that. I've done that too. That's funny. Yeah,
I did that
Oh my
with
goodness.
this outdoor. I fucking went from the 3 to 10 gallon pots. I up potted everything, looked back, and that was the case. The pots were all rolled around, but at least these weren't clones, they were more established plants. So I had a real good idea of what was there, but it was close to being a tragedy. I can tell you that much. It still happens. You get in a fucking hurry sometimes, and life can be a rush thing. You gotta hurry up and get shit done, and
I got to tell you, it's
shit
good to
happens
hear these stories
regardless.
because I thought it was just me. Dumbass.
Mm-mm.
Fuck,
How
get your.
many times have you fucking put a tag in a pot and it mysteriously disappeared? You put it towards the edge and it dropped down into the crack, and you haven't even necessarily you're pounding out the root ball in the yard, and you're like, there it is. I knew that's what you were. I've done that a few times right there. Which brings me to another kind of point there. It always blows me away. The terp profile that's left in the soil. We talk about fucking shit being in the soil all the time. I don't know how many times I've went out in the yard, stomped out a root ball, and been able to identify the strain just from you know what I mean, what I'm stomping out, and it's in the roots as well. There is definitely terps in the roots as well. I don't know if they, you know what I mean, pull them exactly or can exchange them through the roots like we've talked about sometimes, but they're there. And that's kind of what I was wondering too as I was watching you harvest there, Joel. Do you guys do anything with you? I mean, it is 100% a usable plant from tip to tail there. But as we grow for years, we get lazier and lazier. When we first start off, everything goes in a pile. We're using every little fucking ounce of it. Then fucking 5 years in, we're like, yeah, fuck them stocks. Let's go in the compost pile. Fuck them lowers. So, do you guys still utilize as much as the plant as possible and make something out of them, stick?
Now all the fan leaves and all the stalks, that all goes to the burn pile or goes out in the back into the compost. Or this, if I have a lot of stalks, it goes to the burn pile, so I don't have to be picking them. They don't decompose fast enough for me. But we use everything else, all the trim and everything else we use for sure. It's either going into butter, or hash, or something. But no, we don't keep everything like that. Be too much. I used to keep all my seed chuck. I used to keep all the seed chuck, and I do a little bit of tumbling of it, and you get like a low grade keef off of that. You can throw that into the butter too. We used to throw that in like coconut oil to make infused coconut oils. Low grade keef that you can decarb and put that into capsules. Um, since we don't actually vend in stores anymore because they changed the laws here, and then basically told me I had to get a different property because I'm not allowed to sell in shops anymore. So all the products we used to to use everything with, we don't use anymore. So it's basically now it's just, even now I'll probably throw another couple trash bag fulls of seed shuck and all shit like that into the burn pile this year coming up. Just burn it up and there's a big cloud of smoke in the neighborhood and everyone can fucking puff down.
Fumigate, they call that.
Yeah.
When I trim, I have the good buds go into the bin, the small stuff goes into another bin, and the small stuff gets ground up and used for oil mainly, or I'll sell it to those that want to make oil as a pre-ground. Here you go. I'm veering away from doing the oil. It's not really legal to send that in the mail. Had someone kind of warn me of that from the post office about a month ago, because I think they know what I do, right? And so I'm kind of telling those that get oil now to buy the ground up. It's cheap. Make your own oil. Get a rice cooker, whatever, unless the laws change. But as long as I'm sending out THCA, man, I have no issues at all. I actually have a post person that became a customer. So it's, and she kind of filled me in. They don't care at the post office. For the most part, they don't care. They don't care. Someone has to more or less report you and keep reporting you before they do anything. And then what they do is they confiscate it and they send you an email saying, law enforcement has confiscated your package. Stay tuned.
I wouldn't believe it if I got one. I'd be like, oh, this is a scam.
And I go, what do they do?
Pretty much.
He goes, nobody knows what they do with those boxes. They fucking take them home, motherfuckers.
When I used to get seed packs from Sub, there 4 or 5 in a row had holes in the side of that fucking box where it looked like they had obviously stuck probes in them motherfuckers. And I would always take a picture of them and said pass it back, be like, oh man. So they were obviously looking at one point, but it never sees anything.
Too lazy, man. They don't want to do anything. They're government workers. Period. That's what she has told me. I've heard that from several other post people as well. They don't care. If your package is going missing and it says it's been delivered, you got a stoner as a postman. And so
the worst I ever got is when I was sending out handbags of fucking seeds all the fucking time. They said to me at one point, they looked at me because it fucking stank. But there was nothing in there. They fucking put seeds. And they were like, you sure there's nothing in there? I'm like, nah, it's legal to smoke weed here. And I just fucking sat there. That's shit's been on the table. I just been smoking around that shit. There ain't nothing in there. And I'm literally laughing about it the whole time while the worker again says, ha, if it weren't, if I could do it, I would be. As soon as I leave this job, I'm going to start smoking. I'm like, good for you.
a lot of stress.
Yeah. So
a lot of stress at FedEx, a lot of stress at UPS. Think about it, man. These guys, my son works for FedEx. He comes home with nightmare stories every fucking day. They don't want to fucking sniff your box or do anything like that. They got too many boxes to deal with and they have to get delivered so it's a zoo. The guys that get caught doing stupid shit like that are the ones that send pounds and pounds and pounds. Oh, fuck, you're begging to be fucking going to jail, man, if you're doing that shit, So I think, plus, I have a legal license to do what I do. Most people that deal with me are legal medical patients of some sort, There's no money in it for people to arrest us. They should just make it legal worldwide, but then we'd all start waking up and be less controllable and They don't want it that. They don't want, they want you sick on opioids, going to your weed dealer begging for something to make me feel better. Why? Because you're going to die soon. And that's what they want. They want to kill us off, in my opinion. Again, I'm not trying to get all political here.
No,
Anyway,
you're right. I find it ironic and funny is there's states that say they have it recreational adult use is legal, and so you can't grow it at your house. Well, then that's not legal. If it's a plant and I can't grow the plant at my house, the plant is not legal. Plants grow with water and dirt. I can't have that at my house, it's not illegal. If I have to go and buy it from somebody in a prepackaged form, that's some regulated quasi legal. That's not legal.
in Oregon, anyway, I've talked to cops, several of them. I just lived down the street from the place, the police station, the sheriff's. They don't care. There's no money. That's what he said. There's no money in it. Okay. Yeah. They can't confiscate your boat, your car anymore. I mean, it's just, there's nothing in it. Plus, she goes, I doubt, one guy told me, I doubt we could find a jury that would convict anybody for weed, in Oregon. I'm like, it makes sense, right? So there's no money in it, and that's what they're into. I mean, you can go through the system, which I've been through it more than once, and you can buy your way out if you got money. All you have to do is ask, how much do you want? They'll tell you, and you can walk out just like that. It's a big bank.
That's the thing. It's funny. We say there's no money in it, but as I'm sorry who pointed it out. Somebody in chat earlier pointed out Michigan keeps setting records in cannabis sales. And they pointed out, what is it, 300 million per month right now in Michigan cannabis sales. So there's money out there to be made. I mean, obviously, there's still a market. Just they've cut us out of that 100% and took the realness, what cannabis is, out of it. And like you said, Joel, it isn't long before it goes fully legal from coast to coast, and they will take that right. Just like you said, it will be quasi legal, but you won't be able to cultivate it at home. They'll regulate that shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, the home
I think
growers,
where our work isn't done. We still have to keep continuing to fight for our right to cultivate at home, for sure.
yeah, the home growers is killing the commercial guys by 1,000 cuts, little cuts, and they're trying to, shrink that down a little bit. But as long as it's medical, I think, and you have people that actually use it for medicine, I don't see that ever changing. I don't think the people will allow it at this point to change. But dude, whoever they are. I mean, right now things are a little fuzzy about what they are
Who
doing.
they are, in
Yeah.
my opinion, who they are, it's the fucking pharmaceutical money market. It's the same people fucking playing both sides of the fence. They've taken their losses that what cannabis is putting in their market and they've reinvested into legal cannabis so they can reclaim them dollars. Once they've taken the fucking your eye off the medical side of cannabis and they've got you tricked into thinking it's recreational again, tenfold on the fucking pharmaceutical side again. Because now they've got you forgot that even a fucking you can use it as a medicine. Forget all about that. It's legal, but remember to take your pill. You know what I mean? The commercials are gonna come back tenfold. Same thing with the alcohol market. Who is they? It's the alcohol, tobacco, and fucking pharmaceutical market. Who they is 100% when we talk about that. They've just hedged their bet on the other side to cover their losses on what medical cannabis did for them. That's my opinion.
And you
Well, I
heard,
think what's going to come down to this is you're going to see what happens with the scheduling of cannabis ultimately. If it stays to where it's a scheduled anything, basically, like a Schedule 3, I don't see how it could be recreational like beer. They don't have recreational controlled substances like that are just out there sold over the market as it's considered like medicine that you're selling it. So if they keep it at a higher regulation like that, it'll be into the pockets of the medical companies and pharmaceutical companies. But if they go ahead and deregulate it or make it like the lowest possible, like a nicotine or something, then then I see it being the recreational market's going to have a real stronghold because they can advertise and try to hit more marketplaces than a medical.
Oh, they're
I
already
can see them
doing
trying
it,
to do
Joel.
both. It
They're
just
already
depends
doing
on
it.
they're going to
They
have maybe
found the
like the more
fucking
concentrated
loophole
and
here in
derivatives
Michigan.
medical, specifically like
They're already
cancer
doing it.
treatment specified.
They're already advertising here in Michigan. They found the fucking loophole. I caught it and I went, that's genius. 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 So you can't advertise for here in Michigan for cannabis, right? You can't do it. But radio has found a loophole. Radio has found a loophole already. So now they're not necessarily you have your cannabis commercials, but all of a sudden your local events and da 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 are brought to you by X cannabis company, X dispo.
They sponsor.
So everything at the end of everything, this commercial is brought to you by Planet blah blah blah. It's like yeah. So they found a way to get their cannabis name in there in your ear without the commercial, but it's on the radio all the time, so you can get there with. But they're not putting out commercials. They're just putting their name out there as supporting this or that and da 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 da. And I went, oh, that's pretty tricky, and that's typical cannabis right there. I'll get that there somewhere. That's not the money team right there. That was a stoner that went, there's a loophole here.
Like the
I
farm
see
bill.
this. We can use this.
Who wrote the farm bill because they put a nice little loophole in there too. It's all there. The you it's you can put up a website and make tons. All right, if you wanted to. You don't. I mean, just the algorithm of Google is going to make you show up to 1 out of 10 million, which would probably be a million altogether, which is more than enough to take care of your family, guaranteed. So it's just what you want to do with it. I mean, I keep everything really small because I don't want to be a nail ever because the hammer will hit me. I want to be a little tack that moves around a lot. So I don't care what they fucking do. That's just it too. If you grow at home and you got a tent, fuck them. Who cares? You know what I mean? Who do you let in your house anyway? I mean,
Exactly.
nowadays you don't trust anybody. Back when I was a kid, they'd knock on the door and be like, "Hey, get another cup of coffee. Somebody's at the door. Hey, come on in." Now, today it's fuck. Who's that? It's like total paranoia. It's changed that quickly. Our society, our conditioning, all right, from whoever they are, all right. The fact that we know that there's a they nowadays, I think, is a big improvement. All right.
Yeah.
Back in my day, my dad was a World War II tank sergeant. I mean, dude, he USA, USA. We'd had pledges of allegiance in the schools. I mean, people actually stood up for the Pledge of Allegiance or the songs, that we would sing about the country. And no, nothing like that. People now, they give you the fucking finger. They raise up a fist or they, whatever, which I don't fucking blame them. But we didn't know any better back then. I mean, they had us well indoctrinated and well conditioned. Not so much anymore. I think they're losing the internet. Kind of shook the tree a little bit, thankfully. I want to go back to the 50s and 60s, to be honest. It was fun. You know, I could roll a joint driving a car. You know that? I could do, I could roll a joint.
Nah, they Rollers have made that a little easier. Today you can roll and stuff. I use a roller anyway.
Then he says
As
purple
far
vitamin.
as like the '50s, the era, and they're going back, man. It's just a more simpler time. You know, things didn't move at a crazy rate, or we didn't think as fast as we did then. You know what I mean? It reflects in the music, even like pre like '90. You know, and me pre 2000. You know what I mean? They're still kind of fucking carrying a tune. The multi-person band to where it all blends. You know what I mean? And music was such a simpler, more effective, great thing than the layered bullshit we get, and goes for like everything. You know what I mean? Everything seemed to be, if you look back, just on a calmer rate and more enjoyable to the high speed now that we have today. It's just, man, I don't know. I don't even like to listen to a lot of today's music, man. I find myself going, a little further and further back, just for that reason, it's
Oh yeah,
calmer.
for
Frequency.
But I
sure.
wouldn't. So, what would be your favorite? Why would you go all the way back to the '50s, Bingus? I mean, there's the '60s. I mean,
Cheers, Bingus.
Ah, hi,
at
Angel.
one point, I wanted to be a cowboy. The whole fucking gun, you know what I mean? Fucking everybody had
Dude,
their word,
I wanted to be
gunfights.
I wanted to be a Canadian Mountie. All right, because I liked the uniform for some strange reason. I had a picture of that. That's what I wanted to be, a Canadian Mountie. I didn't even know what it was. I just liked the uniform. It was colorful. I was very artistic, and I spent a lot of time alone. My parents were much older. They told me I was adopted, but I really wasn't. My dad had an affair. All right. And the girl that he was with said, fuck you if you're going to raise this kid on instead of the whore that you had him with. You're going to tell him that he's a fucking adopted child. And so I grew up thinking I was adopted. But dad died when I was 17. My supposed grandfather told me the truth. And I was like, fuck, it blew my mind. So do I want to go back to the times? Would be nice just financially. You know what I mean? It would be way more.
Mhm.
We had a dollar that had some worth, but my childhood was weird. And I don't mean to confess this on Eagles. I guess I'm doing it, but yeah, my mom was basically a prostitute. My dad knocked her up, and back in the 50s, I was born in 55. That was a big no-no. But he had knocked her up two other times. Sorry, Dad, I'm exposing you. And he saw the outcome of that with her raising my two older brothers, basically, that I never met. Uh, so he said, "Hey, we got to do something about this one, right?" So he saved my life because both my older brothers are dead, and they died early because of their upbringing. But my dad saved my life. He taught me discipline. He, dude, I'm so grateful for my father, even though he couldn't tell me. Can you imagine that? He could not tell me, "Hey, dude, I'm your real dad," right? Because of the overpowering stepmother that I had. She wasn't my mother, wasn't my adopted mother. She caused a lot of trouble in my psychological development. You know what I mean? But we all have these kind of deep secrets that I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm almost 70 years old. I'm pretty transparent. But you know what's helped me the most? It's cannabis. Dude, I was a mess as a kid until I smoked my first fucking joint. And I have not put it down since then. In 1971, I smoked pretty much cannabis every day that I could. I wasn't, in jail or prison for growing cannabis. Right? I'd get out of prison. I'd go, how am I going to pay for all my fucking fines? Spark up,
Personally,
spark up a closet, buddy. Here we go. So fuck it. I've basically given the middle finger. Once I went through the system the first time, I was like, fuck, that was you guys. You just want money. And they said, well, it doesn't grow on trees. I'm like, fuck you, it does. You want to give me all these fucking bills and stuff? No problem. Here you go. Bang, bang. I paid everything off. No fucking problem. How do you do that? That's up to me to know and for you to find out, you know? And so it saved my life all the way around, man. It's given me freedom. It's given me my health. I mean, fuck, man. I'm so grateful for cannabis, to be honest. And Joel's sitting here just fucking raking it down. It gives me the willy, man. It gives me the, like, yeah, man. So I confessed on Eagles Channel.
Uh, I, we're more alike than you think, Bingus. Uh,
A lot of
I,
people don't want to talk about that
I,
shit.
I share a very similar, but different kind of, and I guess I'll match you. I'll match you today. And people wonder about my story, whatever. And I come, let a little out last night, yesterday, but so yeah, my life's been pretty crazy as well. Pharmaceutical bullshit's been crazy in my life all the way back as far as I can remember. My mother had a terrible addiction to pharmaceutical medicine, bull and whatever. And at one point in my life, I was taken from her at 4 because my grandmother had found me. We had been left alone. Me and my littler brother, 2 years old, had been left alone for a few days. And I was found trying to take care of my little brother at that point. So I was taken from her for a while and then back to her custody and then dropped off on what I thought was my father's porch at 6 and 4. Me and him just kind of left a couple bags on a porch. Here you go. Can't do it no more. And didn't find out that wasn't my real father until 15, to where I was told, yeah, I can't wear this weight any longer. I'm not your real father. And not only that, I can't even do this any longer because at that point I was got in trouble for rolling, which was his cannabis at the time that my little brother had stolen from him that and brought to me to roll because he couldn't roll. And of course, as he stormed in and I'm rolling the joint, as a good brother would, I took the heat and was asked to leave at that point. And which at that point, cannabis, had already been there. I'd watched. He had dealt weed. I remember garbage bags of weed in the closet the whole time I was growing up. I'd been around weed. I was stealing weed from him to sell the 3 for 5s at the bus stop at that point. You know what I mean? So weed had always been around me as well, but I share the burden of, what I mean, my world kind of being flip-flopped and, the realness of who I thought and what the fuck I was right there with you, brother. So cannabis has been there with me, and that's today why, you know what I mean, why I still carry that axe the way I do with the pharmaceutical medicine. Mom came back into life a little later, but still uh, carrying that weight of pharmaceutical and drug addiction. And I used that up until my first daughter was born, and I kind of used her as leverage against my mother to self-righteously clean up, try to get her to clean up. If you want to be a part of my daughter's life, you have to clean up and be a grandmother, which was, in my opinion, very tough because she died in that process. And while Brittany was still young, so and that kind of, I look back and I'm like, did I rob everybody of precious moments being self-righteous about the whole thing, or I still carry a lot of weight with all that shit, but nonetheless, when I look back, that pharmaceutical, I literally to this day have to fucking, I take vitamins and supplements like that, but anything like I have ibuprofen and shit like that, I'd struggle with it. I don't even, you know what I mean? I had the axe is that deep with me as far as anything pill form, you know what I mean? So that's cannabis now has a more realization as a medicine. You know, I utilize it in creams and salves, and it's more of a reason not to have a pharmaceutical in my life, but it's changed all through life, you know what I mean? It was recreational, it was a fucking way to live. You know what I mean? It's definitely changed throughout life, but I can definitely 100% relate to that that early on struggle. So we share that, brother, 100%.
Yeah, see that's just another level of things that we've shared. Uh, it because of that, it kind of forces you into some of the other things that we've done, the construction thing, and it's interesting. When we first talked, I was, I specialized in windows and doors because it was easier, and but I could do it all too, man, because I couldn't keep a fucking job because of my attitude, and it took most of my life to change it. But you know what? I wouldn't trade it at all. I'm sure Joel has his stories, and I'm sure there's plenty of people in your chat room that have similar stories. And it's just good that we can all come together under the plant, you know.
For
I
sure.
agree. I agree. That's why I've always kind of related to I've called us, we're all somewhat of a misfit, you know what I mean? We've all kind of got that little something, but you're right, cannabis what brings us is always been that fabric that holds us all together, and that's why it's as far back to the forums and everything else. You know, it was the one thing we were willing to risk it, even if it were under a screen name or whatever. We had that camaraderie of cannabis. It's been that all along. This, sitting down smoking with people. It's been,
You you
it
bring it,
is the fabric that holds us together.
dude. You bring it right to the same point as I was mentioning earlier. Is cannabis creates unification, and that's the very reason they don't want it legal in a system that is designed to separate us. That's the last thing they want is something that can unify. That's why they've created these campaigns after campaigns to vilify those that smoke herb.
Yeah, it's an amazing plant. It is too. So, cheers. Cheers to that. Let's
Yeah,
roll one up. Got the slight little chill. Powerful episode today.
dude, thanks for letting me do therapy session at Eagles.
The bill's in the mail.
No,
Man,
really, really. I got to actually go to work here, guys. I got a bunch of stuff to do. I'm going to take some plants over to the bud chamber and take a bunch of clones. But thank you for the release today, Eagle. And Joel, always good to see you. And the chat room, you guys are awesome. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
All right. I hope you have
thank
a
you,
fabulous
Dingy.
day.
Have an amazing day. Yes, sir.
Take it easy.
Yeah, great dude right there for sure.
Yes, indeed.
It's been amazing. I've been very blessed in this cannabis adventure right here to meet people like him, like you, to share those stories and like that. And it's exactly like he said, the stories that have been told, you know, that people do identify with. And because we hold a lot of baggage, I've held a lot of baggage, like just what I've talked about, man. I don't talk about that often, you know what I mean? And that's some, it's it's good to let it out, but it's, you know, even more so and better to know that, you know, you ain't the only one that's had that fucked up. You know what I mean? Go at it and shit. We all like to think that we all do start out, you know, with great starts, but you know what I mean? It's all, we watch the TV and think, you know, it's all happy days on the other side for most families and whatever. And it's not so. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their old little guard they keep up. We don't see the ins and outs, the arguments that go on after dinner and shit and yada yada yada. But it is nice to see that you ain't the only one, I guess. Cheers. Cheers to the misfits in the world.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah. Smoking a little apple fritter this time, I believe it is. Yeah, I'm not
Aphid.
ready for winter, Joel.
Say what? Not ready for winter?
I'm not ready for winter. Fuck no. Look, no.
I'm not ready either. I still have to get a bunch of firewood chopped and everything. My
I
back's
enjoy
my
chopping.
back's been out for like almost a week. My back's finally feeling better today, but I'm like, I'm gonna have to rent. I'm gonna have to rent a log split. If I do it all by hand, my back's gonna be yelling at me this winter too. So
Well,
I can't have
they're
that.
just as fun. They're just as
Yeah,
fun. You can get into a good rhythm and with a log splitter, headphones, some.
yeah. I like doing
I
it by
like it.
hand, but my back's gonna be pissed at me this year if I do it. Even most
Cheers,
of what I have
everyone.
is pine, so split's pretty freaking easy. Just yeah, save myself the aggravation. Just get it all done one day. Have a whole big pile here. I just gotta split it all up and be done with it.
Cheers, scary girl. I like fucking the temperature matters. Good fucking some good oak, cold day.
Yeah,
Fucking that shit splits like butter in a good, you know, the right temperature. It can be pretty zen when it's like
Eagle,
that, you know.
it's pretty zen like today temperature outside.
Yeah, I haven't been out yet. I haven't
It's
been outside yet. So
it's a little cooler than normal than what it's been a lot, but it's nice and cool. It's a good temp.
nice. What are you smoking on today?
I am smoking on tropical smoothie.
Nice. How is it?
It's smooth and it's got some good fruit flavor to it. Nice. I
it's
like
smooth
it.
and tropical.
Exactly. So I missed Bingus being on. I tried to join before, but it was taking me a second to get into the system.
Zoom seems to be going through a lot of fucking changes. Every time I log on, it's got something a little bit different. And
Yeah, I had to figure that shit out
seems to
myself.
restart.
They've been changing shit slightly, just enough to throw your game, like your normal routine, how to do it, throw it off.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm actually waiting on my dad to come over, so I won't be on long, but wanted to jump in and say hi.
Do you smoke with your dad?
Hell
Does he
yeah, I
smoke?
do.
Nice.
My dad only smokes my weed.
Even better. Even better.
My dad's been smoking weed for 53 years.
Nice.
And he says he likes it the best. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, there was a different moment there when I got to smoke with my parents for the first time after a while. Later in life, I did make amends, or we with the guy that raised me, and like Bingus said, if it probably wouldn't been for that dude right there, shit would have probably been super fucked up. And as I reflected later in life and had my kids, I realized what he had really done for me. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't really, you think of your parents and shit, oh, this is fucked up. Then you become a parent, you look back and you go, oh, I get it. And you get a call and you go, I remember, da, da, da. But I ended up, talking with him and still calling him dad later in life. And after I'd taken my first daughter over there for like our first kind of Christmas together, that was when things kind of came back together in full. It was when Brittany was born. And so I go over there and I've got my daughter and I'm feeling, pretty adulty, I guess. And was the first time he brought out a joint we had actually smoked together, and that was the wedge. You know what I mean? That's where it all went kind of crazy with us. But to have that joint with him and smoke was it was one of the best moments ever. You know what I mean? And from that moment on, we had smoked together. And I cherish every moment, every joint I ever got to smoke with him. And then the shoe came on the other foot as my kids are shit. My kids are all fucking, what, 29, 26, and the other one just turned fucking 21. And so I've smoked with all of them now. And so that relationship now, like when I get to see him and we see all the kids and we sit down and fucking pass that joint around, it's different these days, and I enjoy those just well. I cherish those joints just as much. And holidays are different, sitting around, Thanksgiving and passing joints around. It's nice to be able to smoke with our parents, I guess, to cross that bridge. That you guys do as well. What about you, Joel? Do you smoke with your parents?
Yeah,
Nice.
for sure. I can remember.
Actually,
I guess I was 16. First, I spoke to my dad, and my parents were divorced. And I was visiting him on the weekend. I went there and I had a new tattoo on my back shoulder. He's like, "Oh well, shit, you're old enough to get a tattoo. You're old enough to smoke a joint with me. So let's fucking go smoke a joint." So then, just from then on, I spoke to him. And then I guess when I was 18, I moved out of the house, my parents' house, and then they let me have an accident. Let me use. They had a much nicer house than my little dinky apartment. They let me have a really nice New Year's Eve party at their house. And I spoke to my mom for the first time then. So yeah, spoke to my uncle. I spoke to my grandfather. I actually spoke to my grandfather several times, and then one time I put some hash on top of the bowl. That was it. He wouldn't smoke with me after that because I fucking hashed him. It was too much. He was like, and then I used to send him a little bit of bud to smoke, and it was just too strong in general. So he wanted me to send my leftover stuff from the vaporizer. Like when I vaporize some bud and I have like the browned out leftover duff, he liked to smoke that. So I'd save him my duff from my vaporizer and send him some of that.
Oh man!
I still add a hash into my bowls.
Nice. It makes everything better. Hash really does make everything better.
But I remember being 12 years old and at my grandparents' house for the weekend, and they went out. They were heading to the store to grab something. I was like, "Oh, I'll stay here at the house by myself." I was watching TV or whatever. Well, I went crawling through the crawl space looking for Christmas presents because it was that time of year. And lo and behold, in grandparents' crawl space closet, like off the side, there was lined with tinfoil and a plant, plants growing. It had He had like 2 little dinky plants growing in his freaking crawl space. It was hilarious. That's actually I just started smoking. I was about 12 years old, so I knew what they were. I was like, oh shit, way to go, Grandpa.
Well,
But I didn't
I
smoke with him
remember.
until I
I
was like
remember when I
25
was
before
a
I smoked
kid.
with him.
I remember when I was a kid going with my dad to softball, and my dad was smoking a joint on the whole way there and the whole way back home. And I got fucking stoned as fuck in the front of that van. Yeah, I know I did. I slept like a baby.
Yeah. Cannabis brings good times, that's for sure. My dad fucking had loved his hash too, but I hated to smoke hash with him. I'd bring him a nice little jar like you got there, and I keep a metal pipe to the same reason he did. Is that always seems to be the best hash pipe. Those old like metal pipes, old school metal pipes. Fucking, and then you could throw literally a fucking marble in that bowl, and by the time you got it, if he lit it, it would be a bucket, a fucking just a hat. You know what I mean? The outside would already be gray, and it would be a glowing ball because he would sit there with that lighter right on, puff, 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 and then it would be like this a glowing ball. But all the terpenes, all the oil would be burned off by the time you got your hit or gave your way, and just be that. You'd be like, man, why do you do that, man? Yeah, but every time he would fucking just stoke that fucking ball on top there. Be like, I'm lighting it first next time. Good times, good day, fucking
Well,
days.
I'm down to half my supply that I had. I had 2.8 ounces of hash
Nice.
that was gifted to me as a tip for helping out at a garden, on top of making $50 an hour. I'm like, okay,
Nice.
Shit,
go
yeah, why
figure
not?
it.
That's a nice little tip.
Yeah, it's like, how can you turn down going to do this? Like, it's working in a commercial garden, but not a massive commercial garden. So, can't beat that.
No, not at all.
All right, guys, I think I'm
You
gonna
know
get out of
what
here. I gotta
strain
come
it
to the
is?
house and wrap some stuff up.
Right on. Well, thanks for hanging out, Joel.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, thanks for
definitely nice.
hanging out and chatting while I'm got done trimming a whole shitload here. So great.
Nice,
Need a little break.
nice.
It's coming soon
I
for
have an
me,
amazing
like
day,
a month
man.
or two.
All right.
Peace out.
Have a good day.
You too, brother.
I actually have my first plant in flower in a long little bit of time. I just put a plant
Yeah.
into flower yesterday.
Which one?
Jet fuel crossed with gelato.
Nice.
I've trained the heck out of it, and I've been vegging it for like a month. So let's see how this goes. Should
Is
be a
it
good
scrogged
segment.
out?
It's not scrogged out yet, but I super trained it using the plant trainer clips.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice.
And I do have a trellis net for my 4x8 flower tent, but the plant's still short, so it's got to grow up into the trellis netting.
Right
So
on. Right on.
it'll get there. I'll adjust everything as it gets going more and more into the plant's flower cycle.
Right on.
But it
Got to
should.
be excited.
It's,
Flower time's always
oh yeah,
exciting.
exactly. Especially since this is my first real new flower since I bought my new grow light. My added grow light, I added another Chill Gen 2 light to my system. So it's like I added another light in the spot between the two lights where there was a weak spot in light penetration.
Right
So I
on.
just I like complimented my garden to even things out a little more. So it's like, okay.
Nice. Hopefully it will pay you tenfold, repay you tenfold.
Yeah, and I'm actually got my since I been working on getting my environment set up for the last couple of years, I got dialed in now that I can do VPD perfectly. Everything is controlled by the VPD for my environment. So it's like, okay.
Nice, nice. It's tough to do sometimes, and especially during the winter time. I prefer to grow. That's my favorite time in Michigan to grow is during the winter months. It's easier to supplement the heat. The plants love it if I have to give them to warm the room up a little bit with I prefer the propane if possible. I like
Yeah,
that
and the
little bit of
propane
CO2
actually
stuff.
adds a shit ton of CO2.
It
That's
does.
another
It
thing I have
does.
going in my garden right now. I have the pilot light for my propane heater. I have the pilot light on, so that it's adding CO2 to the garden.
I think overall, I think the plants, the cooler temperatures, I think we grow some of the best weed in Michigan during the winter months. I don't think it's just me by
Yep.
any means. I think in general,
It's
the
my
best
favorite
weed
time of the
comes.
year to grow. It's my favorite time of the
I
year
don't
to
know
grow.
if we're all stuck indoors and more attentive to the plant, or if it's just the temperatures, the sweet spot of the indoor times.
It's
But yeah,
everything
best weed
combined.
comes.
It's everything
Yeah.
combined. And that's why some of us Michigan growers, we're known to be the best type of growers because we can deal with all the different changes of the seasons and environments and still be able to grow.
I always think it's great, the Michigan grower, how resilient we can be to like
Exactly.
just swap out lights for heat reasons or whatever. I was always good for heating my house, flip-flopping. I've always been a big advocate of running multiple cycles for different reasons. We want to always grow as much as we can, you know, but two things limited us, always seemed to limit us, or it limited me: space and power consumption, what I could actually pull. So the only way I could figure to dominate both of those was to run in tents. So I could
Yep.
have A and B. So at that point, I could run as much as I could off the same fucking circuit, you know what I mean, for 12
Yep.
hours, click, click, and then run a whole nother area for 12 hours off that same plug, you know what I mean? Click, click, so rather than having two different rooms and trying to pull more power, it just made sense for me to alternate and have tents. Close one up, open one up, same area, you know what I mean? And be able
Yep.
to function with the limited power I had in the same space. So
Well,
we can be very resilient.
in my like in my grow room, I have a 4x8 tent and a 5x5 tent. My 5x5 is my veg. My
Nice.
4x8 is my flower. So it's like now that I'm getting it set up this way, I'm gonna be able to add the ability for me to clone. So
I had the realization I didn't even need the tent for veg anymore. That the plant could be ran under a 4-hour light cycle. It didn't necessarily mind me coming in and out of the room during the light time or dark time. So I just left that general area. You know what I mean? Veg. So the two, that's what when I had that aha moment, that veg tent you were talking about became my flower tent. And I just left the light on all the time in the middle with that being my, quasi veg area right there in between.
I
This was
might
like,
make it like for my mother plants and just start doing my own clones.
there you go. There you
Like
go. Save
that's kind
land.
of what it's been setting me up for in that way at the same time. Because think about it, I don't need a 5x5 area for veg when I have only 4 plants in a 4x8 tent.
No.
So it's like, yeah, I think I'm okay.
I'd get you fucking the old set. I'd get you a 2x4 fucking T5 and set that up as your fucking veg and bang out them two flowers.
Okay, then I could do that.
Yes, yeah.
That's a 2x4 tent right behind me, right here.
There
And
you
I could
go.
add that back into my grow room, but right now it's just got a strawberry plant growing in it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Nice. Nice. What kind
might
of
as
yields
well.
you get out of the strawberry? Strawberries are good anytime.
Uh, we just brought it in, so
Uh,
not too long ago. So
just trying
it's
to
my
save
first
it for
plant.
next year kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying
I
to.
got I got it.
And think about it, if I have a good, strong strawberry plant to start the season next year, okay, that's fine with me. Even if it gives me fruit, I'll be cool
Right.
with that.
I would think good fruit, maybe, in the
It'd be
tent
nice
continue.
to get fresh strawberries here in Michigan in the wintertime
I
or
I
early
didn't
spring.
eat as many strawberries this last year. I was always huge on strawberry, and last few years I haven't had as many for some reason. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
we didn't get many off this strawberry plant either this year.
I
But
fell into like a grape fetish. I ate a lot of grapes and left my strawberries behind. Went more of a grape and blueberries for a while.
my wife loves her blueberries, which she's got since she loves it, and I liked them before, but I've gotten to the point I'm loving them more too now. So it's just like I'm good.
What's your favorite fruit?
I love apples, I love oranges, but I also love strawberries and blueberries now. So and raspberries and blackberries. So it's like I'm just a fruit person.
All right, let's put it this way. You just smoked a fat joint. You're in the produce aisle. Where are you running to?
Raspberries,
All
fresh
right.
raspberries. If they got good fresh raspberries.
For me, if they are and they're in season, I'm running to the cotton candy grapes. Smashing on the cotton candy
I
grapes.
love my
If I,
grapes too.
mm, mm,
I'm just a food guy. Who
yeah.
would have thought that? 6 foot tall, over 6 foot tall dude that weighs 160 pounds. I'm 46 years old and I'm the same size today as I was in 1995.
Some would say that's excellent. I would think that's excellent.
Oh, I eat whatever the hell I want. That's a sad thing. I was a professional cook for 27 years, so
What's your favorite thing to cook?
I love cooking my chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
Nice.
I was taught how to make it way back in the day by a Sicilian.
You make your own noodles?
I wish I had all the stuff from my mixer. We're in the process of getting it set up to make our own noodles. We do everything else here. It's just I don't have the for the KitchenAid mixer. I don't have the pasta roller yet.
Nice, nice.
I'm gonna get it.
It's a big difference. It is too. I don't. I gotta make that clear. I don't, but I've tasted the difference. There's definitely a difference between homemade noodles and box stuff for sure.
Well, we have a meat slicer here. I don't buy the shredded cheese at the store anymore. I
Mhm.
shred my own cheese. I do everything here pretty much. My wife and I do everything fresh. I have a vacuum sealer. We know how to jar things and everything. Plus, I have a pressure cooker to do stuff that in a jar that needs to be pressure cooked.
Where would where would a good Italian restaurant be? What's your favorite Italian restaurant?
I don't go to any of them now
Oh, yeah, all
because
right, that's fair.
I'm
That's
very
fair.
biased. The place that I worked at is no longer around.
Mm.
So when you get a place that was your favorite you've ever gone to, they're no longer around. I don't go to Italian restaurants anymore. If I want Italian food, I'll just go to my brother-in-law's and my sister's house. Because my brother-in-law's full-blown Italian. He knows how to cook, like, really good. So I'll go over him.
I had some
Or go,
decent Italian food the other day, but shitty service. Well, actually, I take that back.
Yeah.
I had good service, but a shitty response. That's kind of what I asked why a good one would be. Because uh, I traveled all the way up to Flint to grab my daughter for her birthday, her 21st birthday, lunch, dinner, whatever you want to
yeah.
call. And she says, "All right, you want Italian food? I'll leave the restaurant out of it, even though they were dicks." So just normal day for me. I don't really think about too much about. I'm dead. I'm fucking 53 years old. I don't really give a shit too much about what I look like. Basically.
We're just
And
us.
so yeah, I just throw on my normal like running t-shirt, some shorts, and I'm good, right?
It's just us.
And so I go pick her up. We head into this restaurant, and every fucking server in that place ran like I was the plague. And like, no, every server, they pretty much sent a crackly voiced busboy over to wait on
There
me,
was at least 8 of them. There was at least 8 of them.
while the waiting staff sat back, was like, yeah, no. So yeah, I had actually left that poor kid a huge tip just because I wanted him to run back and tell all the other wait staff that was fucking a great table. You guys fucked up.
Easy money.
I did too. I did too. And yeah, it was a good food, but yeah, I couldn't believe that, just by them judging me just on my, a quick, and it was too, as soon as I walked in, it like every fucking server scattered, you know what I mean? And it was just kind of, it was it was shitty, especially on a birthday. So the gentleman that the bus boy that they sent out to wait on me was more than he went above and beyond. He was nervous as shit, but he treated my daughter with respect, and was very sweet to her anyway. So,
You did a good job.
yeah, but I'll never go back there. I'll never go back there. So that's why I kind of asked for future reference what a good Italian restaurant would be.
Well, I know a good pizza place out in towards Granville for you,
Huh?
which is Granville is right outside Grand Rapids. But there's a place called Giovanni's Pizza. Oh my, it's in Wyoming. I think it is. Granville, Wyoming area. It's all a city area, whatever. But that place, if you go there, get a chicken feta pizza. Guaranteed it's gonna blow your mind how fucking good it is.
Mm, does sound good.
That I can attest to.
Well, brother, we've reached that 2 o'clock hour. Please tell your father hello, and you guys have an amazing day. And I hope to see you real soon, bro.
Thank you, Eagle. I had to jump in and say hi to you. Sorry I couldn't get in or get to you guys before Bingus left. I wanted to say hi to that old dude. He's a good guy.
Sure he hears you, brother.
What?
Sure he hears that. I said I think he's still in chat, so I'm pretty sure he hears you, and I'm
Well,
sure
hi Bingus.
100%
Long time no chat, buddy.
appreciate.
He hasn't talked to me and like seen me really that much in a long time. So
Right on.
I took my social media break, but I'll let you go, Eagle.
Right on.
Cheers, everybody. Have a good one.
You have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Later. For me, it is time to get the mixer and fire, make some mud, lay some tile, push on with the day. For the rest of you guys, I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing weekend. Maybe we'll check in sometime throughout the weekend. If not, then I will 100% see you guys Monday. Till then, please don't forget to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives, and I say that, but I definitely still mean that 100%.